Hello again, my friend.
What's going on, man?
Back with another one.
You already know.
Literally with Ken and Karl.
Literally.
So I waited to fire this one up. So I know it's been a little bit since we did our last one.
Yes.
And that's gonna kind of be the standard, right? We're
pretty much
kind of fitting them in where we can.
Yeah.
But one thing I have been doing is the clips, right?
Yes.
I've been trying to cut the clips in. And I figured I would goof around. One of the cool things with YouTube is you can add in those links at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured I'd try to play around with, some stuff.
Right.
And I'm having way too much fun. All right. Let me get this in full screen. Oh no, my speaker's off. That is terrible. Why is it? I plan. I plan for this stuff.
Something. It's always, but
it's
all right,
always
though.
Something.
It's all right.
And no, I don't want my phone to pair with it.
Yeah, I understand. That's what it's doing,
Yep, that's what it's doing.
Yeah. Technology, man. We got everything linked. Things happening.
Podcast.
Yeah,
All right, let's try this again and see if we get some audio here.
So your kung fu has brought you this far. Let's see if you can handle the real challenge. Here. And here. And subscribe here. We'll see who's the best.
You know what? I'm jealous because I haven't done one yet. I haven't done one yet, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, God damn it! I would have a little fun too, Good God!
I've been having fun with these titles too.
Yes, I see that. And people don't understand. Last episode, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it because there's some people who enjoyed it a little bit too much. I go on to work, and all of a sudden they see me, they go me, and I'm like, God damn it!
That was a fun episode, though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. So
how's Big Rob doing?
He's doing all right. He's doing fine, doing like normal. I call him, he cusses me out, and I cuss him out. So we have a great understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much.
He said he enjoyed the episode.
Oh yeah. He actually wants to do another one.
Yeah.
And
Q's been wanting to come back too.
Oh yeah. Q got to. You can't sit on on the first one and talk raspy.
Shout out to the Hazie Nut.
Shout out to the Hazie Nut. Please, once again, we need you to go there, thehazienut.com. See what coffee you like. Take interest, try it. I promise you, you won't be mad about it.
That is true. It's fantastic coffee.
Yeah.
So I've been checking out a bunch of different stuff. There was I think it was on Prime, but it was a hip hop special.
Okay.
And it's a series, and it's about kind of the people behind hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about these 4, 5 really kind of moguls that were from the drug game.
Okay.
And it was really, really good. And for the life of me now, I can't remember the name of it. But all of these people were kind of connected, like in the backstory of hip hop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, people don't understand. Like it's always, people always get these stories of the actual artist and the record label, but there's always another beginning somewhere that's not really told, and stuff like that comes out, you appreciate it more and get a better understanding how things get started.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. So before the cameras and stuff started rolling, you were mentioning that you had a little bit of beef with DC. So
oh man, yeah, DC, I am pissed at them. this is what they've done. I've been reading. They're trying to reboot Superman and trying to do it where J.J. Abrams directs the next Superman movie and does it without Henry Cavill.
That's crazy.
That's stupid. That's stupid. There's nobody better being Superman since, him and Christopher Reeve. They're the only ones that really that brings the look, the actual look and actual feel of the character.
Oh yeah.
No one else does that. And I'm just like, how are you gonna do that? And DC's already screwed up so many times. I mean, Marvel has given you the blueprint time and time again. This is how you do it. You do this, you start the story here, whatever you want to start it, but then you link everybody. It just, to me, the only way they can save this right now is if they do a Flash movie and let Flash run back in the past.
And do what?
But see, with him going back and going back into the past and going back in different timelines will like kind of solidify all the different events, all the different movies of far as in that DC has done and screwed up, and just show that, hey, this was in that timeline, this was in that timeline, this was that timeline, and kind of just piece it all together. That's the only way.
Right.
But far as in you taking Henry Cavill out, like, no, you can't do that. That man he has the look of Superman. And there's nothing else I can say about that. You're trying to take that away. Who you gonna put in the next? Name somebody. Who you gonna put?
Yeah, I don't know. I know Godot was really well cast as Wonder Woman. I didn't have a problem with Ben Affleck as Bruce or Batman.
Me either.
I really thought he played it. Maybe it was better than what I expected.
Same here.
But I thought it was really good. I thought for the time period Batman that it was supposed to be.
Yes.
I thought he did really well with it.
Yes.
But the best casting job you had there was Superman. I mean, he was perfect for that role.
Yes.
He had the nobility to it. He had there was like a caring, deep part of humanity that humanity tends to miss.
Yeah, and he had that uneasy, like a part of him kind of like gave you that, like, even though I want to do this, but I don't want to do this, and he still goes through it and do it anyway, and that's the Superman that you get, I mean. And then all of a sudden they always screw up again. They got this new Batman coming out. The dude from the fucking Twilight is playing Batman. I can't think of his name. Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you. I hadn't seen a whole lot about it. I haven't been really staying.
The trailer, you're like, okay, and you're like, why are we doing this? Why are we telling some other stories of Batman that we don't need to tell? We need to go forth like you were doing beforehand, which I thought was great when they did Ben Affleck as being Batman. He was pushing forward to another direction with it, and it's like, okay, you're getting into the older Batman, the more bulkier Batman. That, hey, I'm older now. I'm bulking up. I'm finna fight and just beat the shit out of people. I'm not finna do all that kung fu crap beforehand. I'm just gonna do what I do. And that's what Ben Affleck's character was. He gave you that animated series. He gave you that look. You get the type of feel.
Right.
But now, I don't know what DC's doing.
So what's basically the plot line or the time period for this new Batman? Do you know?
It's kind of like the beginning.
They're doing another origin story?
It's kind of like another origin story from what I've seen in the trailer.
So Christopher Nolan didn't do a good enough job of that?
I don't fucking understand. Why would you go ahead and do something else different when Christopher Nolan has taken it beyond what it was and made it great?
Is this going to have a Joker in it?
I don't even know. You can't really tell who the villain is from the trailer. It's garbage. I'm already sad about it. I don't want to. It's kind of one of the ones where it's like, even though if it was being movie theaters, even though if it would come up free on my on my app or HBO Max, something like that, like, hey, watch it for free. No, fuck it. I'm just gonna not do that. I'll go watch the old Batman in 1989. I'll go watch that before I watch that. I'll even go watch George Clooney's Batman, and that's awful. That's god awful. Even Val Kilmer's. That's how horrible it is.
I can't sign off on Val Kilmer.
Never can sign up. Look here, I don't.
No, and I like Val Kilmer. I mean, Huckleberry. I mean, it's Doc Holliday. But
Right.
I'm just saying that movie was atrocious.
I can't sign off on Val Kilmer or George Clooney. They didn't do it justice to me. I don't know what the hell they was thinking.
George Clooney at least could pull off the Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But I still think Keaton was better on both sides of that coin than either of them.
Keaton was the coldest. And then at the same time, don't get me wrong. Okay. We're always going to give Heath Ledger that, hey, I'm the best. I'm one of the best Jokers that did it. But in a sense, anyway, my man Michael Keaton gave you both Bruce Wayne, gave you Batman. And then at the same time, the reason why you will never ever forget the 1989 Batman is because the cast, the director, and also they had one of the best soundtracks. Prince.
Well, and you know, I really appreciate Heath Ledger's Joker.
Right.
That doesn't discount anybody that's done it before.
Right.
Because I think Jack was great.
Oh, awesome.
And I think my favorite is still the animated series Mark Hamill. Just as far as nailing the character.
Yeah, you're not gonna
the insanity with the humor, with the just kind of, you know, maliciousness. And when they did I think it was Killing Joke.
Yeah.
They did that graphic novel style animated one.
Yes.
And Mark Hamill did the voice.
Yes.
You know, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them do a real life.
They need to. I think the problem is that, you know, these directors come in and they try to put their own feel on it when it's just like, it's already dark itself. Do it the way it needs to be done.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing that DC can always have over Marvel is that DC is not afraid to go dark. And that's what's needed because everything is not pretty and it's not, you know, and especially with the Joker. The only reason why in the cartoons they put like when you found Joker's victims with smiley faces because they couldn't do the blood and the gore and all of that. So they just put smiley faces.
Yeah, I think Nolan was kind of on the right track. I really felt like even for the time period, the 89 series was definitely dark and gritty.
Yeah.
For a superhero movie, it was a lot darker than anything that anyone had attempted.
Yeah.
You just you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, Joker, which isn't a superhero movie at all.
No.
Which is very much a drama.
Yes.
But as dark as you can get, you know, I don't think people should shy away from making those kind of films either.
No.
And if you were to have a Batman movie that was very kind of dark like that, I still think, you know, you're going to get huge success out of it.
Yeah, I think so
but
too.
They're looking at marketing. They want to sell toys.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and I think they need to get like, you know, they just need to rethink their whole way of going about doing these DC movies. I mean, like I said, Marvel's doing an awesome job. I mean, and I just watched the other day the newest episode of Wandavision.
Okay, so I've only seen 2. Erica really wants to see it, and we were supposed to watch it together, and I'm not doing the same thing to her. So, you know, we've had some kind of my niece was here, and
right.
So I'm hoping this week we can sit down. Now I have watched the first 2 episodes,
right,
and I do see why some people would kind of say that, you know, they really weren't sure about it,
right?
But I can kind of see like this kind of veil, like they're stuck in something, and someone's trying to break through because they've done something to Wanda.
Right.
And so I didn't get into episode 3.
This last episode, I went like this at the end. I said, they're going there. I'm happy to see it.
Nice.
But and to all the people who are like really into Marvel, if you don't watch WandaVision, if you don't watch the future TV shows, by the time the movies get to rolling again, you're going to miss a whole bunch. You're not going to understand why is this, because they're still moving forward with this to the movies. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So I had to look up because we were talking about the Joker. Erica was petitioning for Adrian Brody, and I got to agree. Like, I think he would make a pretty, and especially the guy's a phenomenal actor.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool.
You can pull it off. I mean, you can pull it off. I mean, even in the new Zack Snyder's Justice League, you know, there's a clip of you see Jared Leto in there as Joker again, but this time he's not. He doesn't have that same look. He almost has a look of Heath Ledger's Joker. But
so he's not like tattooed in the face.
No, he's sitting there like he was just
gold teeth.
In the trailer, he sits in there, he's speaking actually to Batman. You know
what? Seriously, what?
I see they were trying to modernize him, and you can't really modernize the Joker.
You don't have to modernize the Joker. Cesar Romero did him in the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing about Joker. Joker has his own style, his own look, his own images. He is his humor is his own, you know. I mean, even like in the
he was style.
Even in Batman's the Red Hood, which
is excellent.
That's I love it every time. And then, you know, Robin's sitting up there, the Red Hood sitting up there going, "Hey, I was thinking about, you know, why you haven't killed him?" And he's like, "Yo, there's not a day," and Batman's like, "There's not a day I don't think about killing him." And then Joker looks around and goes, "So you do think about me?" I said, "Yo." I fell out. I lived around that like 30 times because that shit was so funny the way he just sat there like, yo.
That's so great.
I love that.
That's probably one of the best hero-villain relationships.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just it's I don't know. It's crazy how deep that whole thing goes with the, you know,
exactly.
You created me. Mm-hmm. And I created you, and
the whole fact of that Joker this whole time is trying to make Batman break his rule, and then that's why at the end of the Killing Joke they're just like, are we gonna keep doing this until, you know? And it's just pretty much at one point they stopped fighting. They just like sat there for a minute, just like, what more can you do? And it just in the movie ends, and
yeah,
and it's like, makes sense, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is.
So, you had a death in the family, so you had to go back and visit some folks.
I was going to, and then I got, for some reason, the weather changed, and I got a massive headache, like 2 or 3 days. I was feeling sick. I didn't go, and literally, my sister, she had to actually go back there and drive back up because she had to pick up something that she needed. And by the time she got back up, she was having headaches and crap. And it's just the weather changes. Every time the weather goes up and down, it kind of opens me up headaches or something like that. So I just kind of sat back in the house. I didn't like bother nobody. Like those 2 days, I was just.
It gets freaky here though. Like, you know, in a 7-day period here, it was down to 32, and then it was up to 71, and then it was like mid 50s and raining.
Yeah. I'm like, man, and in the day, it's like damn near in the 80s, you know? And it's like, and then tomorrow they're talking about rain, and then it's might go back down, and then all of a sudden we're back. You know, I don't believe the spring is here because this is my thing. If I don't see a squirrel or a bee out, I don't believe shit. I just don't. I'm saying.
So you're saying the groundhog is full of shit?
Yeah, groundhog been full of shit, okay? Think about it. Even Groundhog's Day, okay? Everybody's Groundhog's Day. Who do they put up there? The star, the most one of the biggest shit motherfuckers ever, which I love. Bill Murray, full of shit.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I'm telling you, watch out.
We're not playing by their rules anymore.
I mean, I love that. I love it. The fact that he tried to kill himself every fucking day, and he just kept waking back up. I'm telling you, but I just don't believe it. Like the groundhog, I don't know who came up with that one. Whatever nature tells you, there's other points of nature that tells you, okay, you don't see any squirrels out, you don't see any bees out. Don't go out there. If you look here, I ain't even seen a stray dog out in the wild. That tells you something. shit is not out. It's not time yet.
You have to know, before we had modern technology, they had to do some crazy shit just to figure out what was going on in the world.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it definitely. Even just in general, that's why I say one thing about it is pay attention to nature. Like I mean, every animal is in their blood, their DNA. They know. Like I said, sometimes animals won't come out this time. Oh, they smell rain. They know it before we smell it. So in general, I pay attention to that. Like, regardless, the weatherman can sit up there. Oh, today we're going to have some showers. If there's fucking some showers, and then all of a sudden, if the dog's out there running around playing, giggling, laughing, just shitting everywhere, guess what? Ain't gonna be no damn showers. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, pay attention to nature. It's gonna always tell you. I mean, literally, decide to do it.
So I got to see Soul on Disney.
Right.
Right. Have you seen it?
Of course, it's nice. It's nice. It's the meaning of it is the biggest thing. Is you have this character who pretty much is, his whole thing is to finally make it. And playing music and doing his passion, what he loves. And he thinks once he gets this shot, he thinks it's just going to take off like that. And he's missing the whole point of the whole meaning of life. And
it's about the journey.
It's really about the journey. And at the same time, it's more so that, and this should be an eye opener to everybody that, take in every day. I mean, especially the best scene was at the end when he comes back to Earth and he steps outside and he just breathes in the air and he's just taking life in. And it's just like.
But he still, he didn't really understand it. Mm-hmm. Not until that very end. So there are all these kind of key moments where he's looking back at his life. They're going through that hall, and it's like, oh, this is really depressing, and oh, my life. He really kind of feels like, I really need to get back. I really need to fix this. And at that point, you're kind of along with them in the journey, like, man, he better blah blah blah. But as 22, the little spirit that didn't want to get out,
who loved the shit out of pizza,
started experiencing all of these little things, and you're kind of getting hints. And Pixar, I'm not going to say it was my favorite Pixar movie, because they've had some that really hits you like holy. But I do like the fact that they can make a movie. I think they definitely came from a Black experience, but it was still extremely translatable because the overall message really hits when all of these little cues about these subtle little things. And, well, you only love them because, I love them. And he's basically telling himself, I appreciate all these little moments and I'm missing all of that.
Right.
And when he makes that sacrifice, and Eric and I are kind of fucked up, so when we were watching it, we're like, watch, he's gonna kill himself. In a sense, he goes into that trance, right, and then basically gives her the earth patch.
Exactly.
It's kind of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
he was kind of, he didn't bathtub it. But.
I mean, it was funny in the beginning when he was getting the hell away from the great beyond. That night was coming. He's like, fuck that, I'm getting the hell on.
Yeah. But I thought they did it in a really clever way. My new dog Marley did not like the cat talking. She got real mad.
No,
like she was barking hardcore at the screen.
God damn it.
But she's a hunter. Like, I wouldn't be worried about Tango. She's the one.
Yeah. She got that get up and go in her.
Yeah.
Like fuck this, let him scratch his ass. I'm going after him. But it was great. It was a great movie. Like I said,
it was.
Like I said, it's a message, you enjoy, every moment of life, because, and that's just another thing, as far as in with, right now, like, January, I had one of my friends, they passed away. And then literally like, this month, like I said, one of my cousin, she passed away. So, you have to be appreciative of life, because once again, we don't know when it's going to end. I mean, and as they say, you don't, once it's over on this side, and then after that, we go to the great beyond and we do meet God,
Who knows?
Who knows,
I'm appreciating this moment with you.
Oh, that is so nice. I appreciate this moment with being with the asshole.
See, why'd you have to go there? I was being nice. I haven't been an asshole this whole time yet.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well, not intentionally.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the times you really have to watch out for, though.
Of course. No, you just have to, you slide it on in, and then, and then one of my friends, like, they were, like, they came around me and they were sitting there, and I didn't know what he was listening to. And he goes, you know what? I like Carl. I was like, why? He's an asshole to you. I like him. And I was just like, that's fucked up.
Rob cracked me up in the last episode, though. Like, editing that was hilarious. And part of the reason why I put so many clips, because I plan on going back and doing some clips from some of the other episodes.
Right.
Just in between content that we can put up to keep people entertained. And I'm sure a lot of people that don't want to sit for an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I can give you 6 or 7 or 8 minute clips that kind of funny bits that happened or something. Well, they've all been funny to me.
Oh, it's been a lot of funny moments. It really has.
But I'm telling you, there were so many in that last episode. I could probably pull 4 more clips out of that easily. But I just thought it was getting redundant at some point, so I stopped at 6.
Yeah.
But it's Rob, when I called you out and Rob was like, "Oh, he said it before I could." Man, I fell out. He's really funny, man.
Man, you don't understand. Like, that's just a smidget, and a lot of people understand. We only told pieces, certain stories. We didn't tell like everything. We couldn't.
I will tell you, if I was causing trouble in a bar and I saw that dude rolling up on me, I think I would quiet down pretty fucking quick.
Dude, that's between him, Lateef, Dre. Dre's is
there's a reason you were in the center of that circle, jerk.
And there was a dude that, you know what, really, that's how you feel about it.
I implied that before, and it worked out so great because I had the picture that you sent me, and when I put it in and edited it in, it looked like we were like watching the picture, but we weren't. I just knew you had a beanie on. And I had implied something about you being in the center of a special circle, and I wasn't sure if you got it, but Rob certainly did.
Yeah. I kind of just kind of like let it go over for a second, like, oh, whatever. But yeah, I figured. Yeah, I took it in. But yeah,
terrible.
But
terrible.
Yeah, just between them and this other guy, we have not. If I could find a picture of him named Ed, shout out to Ed, wherever you at. Ed is like literally like this. Huge. And one night, like, this guy was outside acting up, and the police is coming after the dude and took off, and he takes off, and next thing you know, the police take off with him. Then all of a sudden Ed takes off, and I was like, oh shit, Ed's big as hell, can run. And then the dude kind of comes back in this way, like he's heading towards the front of the club, so I take off. So to cut him off, like, yo, you ain't finna come back here. And when he turns around, all of a sudden you see the police, boom, they knock him to the ground, and Ed is there. Next thing you know, they literally laying it to this dude. Ed, like, just literally 1 foot just kicks this dude, and he like just moves like 4 feet over. Like, I was sitting there like, shit, and I was just like, shit, damn, Ed, why you do that? Like, but man, this is a lot of crazy shit though. But like I said, those days were cool. But
you miss it at all?
I do miss. I miss working with the people there more than anything else.
Right.
In general, because like I said, we were all cool. And then there's a time I didn't tell, like, Sella also has his other right hand is this girl named Mia. Shout out to Mia. Like, when I first started there as well, she would send me to the store and get like food for her. And I went to Zaxby's and got her a kicking chicken, and she was like,
oh man.
And she was like, no
kicking chicken.
She was like, some kind of sauce, like no sauce on it or something, and I brought back and it had sauce on it. She wanted like honey mustard on hers or something like that. It had the regular sauce.
That's not a kicking chicken.
Yeah, but she wanted it her way. So
she bougie.
Guess what I did? And Solo goes. I said, yeah, I brought the sandwich for her. But he's like, did you do it the way she wanted? I was like, I think I messed it up. Mia gonna get you. And next thing you know, I bring it to her. You're fired. I'm fired many times from there.
Damn.
Well, I was still working there. It was cool though. But the next time though, like I was like, yo, like she expect me that day. She expect me that night, but still, oh well.
Kicking chicken. That's an amazing chicken sandwich.
Oh, I know. I know my ex. That's her thing. Kicking chicken. If I called her right now, I was like, yo, you went to Zaxby's? Yeah. Sometimes what you get. You know what I got? Kicking chicken.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
So, you and I had spoken earlier about, I guess it was a racial conversation in a sense about history and how fucked up history was. And I had told you I was having a conversation with an acquaintance of mine who I work with, and he's Indian.
Yeah.
And he was very against the Black Lives Matter movement because he felt like it was alienating to other people who suffered. And, you know, I have difficulty getting into conversations like this because I see it.
Right.
I mean, there's, he's like, there's slavery today.
Yes,
there's
it's reconciled. Yeah,
there's people that have been treated poorly just in this country. A lot of different races have. I can't argue with that.
True.
And I kind of went back to the best argument that I've heard is, if a house is burning, do you put water on all the houses or the one that's burning?
Right.
And that's, other than that, I never really know what to say. But, I would say that people in general are pretty fucked up.
Yeah, people are in general fucked up.
And a lot of times people do things they think are for the right reasons.
Right.
Sometimes some of the most heinous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, the Spanish Inquisition, so many of these things are holy or righteous wars, and
exactly,
and things that we do to people because we think that that's what's supposed to happen. But people are pretty terrible to each other in a pretty large scale.
I mean, for one, like I always say to people all the time when they talk about certain things with history, for one is to understand the way things are, we must go back and understand our history first. And that's going back and finding the actual truth about history. And that's not just Black history. That's just history in general, because only so much of it has been told. Just think about it. You grew up in going to school, and you would go in there and you would hear about the Boston Tea Party, and you only got pieces of that. And then eventually you got pieces of so much of the truth of just even the murder of JFK, like the pieces of that. And it's more and more. And then finally, when you go off and go to school, or you just sit down one day and say, hey, I'm going to research this, you find out more than what's there. And in general, like a lot of people, they always talk about, Martin Luther King, he's this, that, and the third, but they didn't understand. And in his last couple of years, his mind was changing. And they always show this clip of him going, talking about the bootstraps of man, but they never show you the beginning clip of him speaking and talking about, far as in the, they asked him about the I Had a Dream speech, and he kind of thought about the way he was talking about it. He kind of was in that moment saying I was kind of vague a little bit, because of the things that he's gone on years on after that, and he kind of rethinks that. And he even eventually said he led his people into a burning house. Because once again, he understood his cause, but he really understood more so what he was up against and had to rethink everything. So, but a lot of people don't understand that. And like I said, history, and just more so back then, and even going back to even slaves, people don't understand that, like far as in, they always want to say, hey, we were slaves when we got here. But guess what? Some of us are already slaves before we got over here. Because there's in Africa, there's a tier, just as there's kings and queens, there's a tier there with people. And some Africans were slaves of other Africans. And then, of course, when people coming over, hey, resources, trade, blah, blah, blah. What have you got? What do you got? slaves. Okay, let me take some of them. I'll give you this, you give me that. Go. Okay. So eventually people don't think about that, or they don't know. Right. And once again, I say this to a lot of people, you have to do your research, and just not sit there and just read one thing or be told one thing. Just go back, and you'll find out there's a lot more there than what you thought. And that goes back to our government. It goes back to the Constitution.
Yeah. It's I just history is pretty fucked up.
It is.
And people would say in India right now with the class system that there's still slavery and there's still a manipulation of people to keep in certain roles and certain levels. And
yes, there is.
I often think people will say, oh well, it's America's really fucked up. We got issues. There's no doubt. We're not that old of a country.
Right.
And so I would encourage people really kind of research other places.
Yes.
There are a lot of fucked up places too.
Yeah.
Like really fucked up places today, currently.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that, we're right.
No.
But I just wish more people would stop bitching and more people would get involved to do something. So
yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, there's always going to be, even just here in America, as far as in a certain level of people, and that's going to feel like that there are like kind of slaves, but in a sense, there is also just so much of people who are not going to be like, say for instance, the wealthy, the middle class, the poor. It all goes back to a certain tier of as far as in of holding certain people in certain places. I mean, and that's just like, once again, people think that this pandemic is just about the coronavirus, and really it's really more than that. It just allowed more corporations to capitalize on what's going on, because now the regular, the mom and pop stores, the people who had that dream of saying, hey, I want a store, I want to do this, that, and the third. Most of them, they can't make it.
Oh, no.
They can't make it. And now these major corporations who own all these franchises and stuff are just putting their businesses here in this corner, here in this corner, here in this corner. Yep. And what is that doing? That's taking out your mom and pops, and they're just killing them, because, for one, they don't have that kind of money or that kind of power to withstand and go up against a corporation like that.
And I think conspiracy theorists sometimes kind of mess things up, because they'll say, oh, well, coronavirus was put in place so that this could happen. No, I don't think stuff like that happens. What I think is corrupt and greedy people,
of course,
are opportunistic.
Of course.
And when they see things happening, part of their skill set is to say, well, we've got to pivot. We've got to capitalize on this.
Right.
And then they do. And it's the difference between somebody who, works on Wall Street and me putting a couple of screens up and saying I'm a day trader.
Yeah.
There's a vast difference. So, I don't.
I mean, even like I said, even him saying with the whole, he was kind of feeling different about Black Lives Matter, but one thing he failed to realize is, I understand what happened to your people, and that's unexcusable. But when you're sitting there and you're now seeing through your phone, seeing on your TV of somebody being killed right there live, I mean, you kind of have to stand up and say something and speak out about it.
Well, and in the same sense, like, okay, so I feel like today is not as difficult as living in 1450.
Right.
Modern technology has made our lives so much softer, right?
Exactly.
So I would complain about something and I would say, oh, this is terrible. It's the worst thing in the world. And in my world, it is, right? And that doesn't mean that, it's actually, I shouldn't complain about it, because in 1450, you had all these other things to worry about. You don't know what that's like. I can't, you can tell me that, but this I can experience and this. So for me to tell somebody, well, you should try living in Serbia, or you should try living, in Iraq, or you should try living, in another place that's extremely hostile, maybe, or something like that. You don't. What you know is the shit that you have to deal with here.
Exactly.
And how that makes you feel. And if it makes you feel hopeless, if it makes you feel, distraught and terminally depressed.
Right.
And then that's as real as what they dealt with in 1450.
Right.
It's as impactful to you as what they went through. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't think it's fair for somebody to say, well, I do think, yes, we can check and there are other countries and, I think there are other countries that are much worse off than we are.
Oh, yeah.
But to discount somebody's pain because of that, I think is unfair.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, in history, you go back and you look, I mean, almost every race has had something that's, detrimental happen to them. And the fact of, and some of it has never been spoken about, never been mentioned, and a lot of it's been covered up and pushed under the rug, quieted down, but it's all over the world. And then at the same time, that's why, a lot of friends I know, they always want me to travel. They like, go to this place, go to that place and just see how they live over there. And, I mean, and not only that, and just see how they survive. And then at the same time, and just get another opinion, because once you start traveling, you get another, it opens your mind up and you look at the world in a different place, and you have better, you have you're more appreciative to what you have,
Absolutely. I could also see how it would be or could be offensive in a sense for me to say, well, you're getting shit on 3 times a week, but that guy down there is getting shit on 7 times a week.
Right.
Okay, well, how about neither of us should get shit on?
Yeah. But I mean, it's just a lot for me to just think about, far as in, because one thing about the way the world is, it's always someone always trying to live better than the other person or trying to stay ahead. And, and some people, who don't have that or have the actual funds or money to keep up, I mean, they're the ones who suffer in the end,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's always like that. It's always about, and there's so many people out there. So there's some people who are actually rich who are just trying to maintain their money. And there's some people who are actually rich who just, they want to own everything,
There's got to be a way that people can, I don't know, find a way to take care of each other and I don't know.
Right.
Not have some greedy asshole control it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just
I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how either. Because I mean, the thing about it is that, okay, we were put on this earth. The earth has all the resources we need to live and to thrive off of. And technically, the earth is going to do what it's going to do to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when do we have the right to say, this is ours, we own this, we own that? I mean, because at any given time when the earth is trying to replenish itself, storms, tornadoes, it'll take your ass out. Ice
age.
Yeah, it takes you out,
Mm-hmm.
So in general, like, really, this is not ours. We're just only here for a moment.
Yeah, it's pretty arrogant of us to think that we're the ones that, are in control of all of this.
Yeah, I mean,
the spinning rock in space.
Yeah, we don't control any of this. Like I said, long before us, this was going on. Long after us, I mean, even once again, falling back to the damn squirrels and bees. Like I said, the animals were put here before us, and they'll be here after we're gone. I mean, and it's just the thing about it. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to just come to realization that, hey, I'm here to do something and contribute to the rest of the human life here. But at the same time, how can I make my everyday environment better. Because if you apply that to yourself and everybody applies it to themselves, it will be a better world.
So if I'm playing true devil's advocate, if we have no conflict, doesn't life get really boring?
Yes, it does. It does to a certain extent. That's why we have different minded people. But at the same time, I mean, there's always a way to just kind of entertain yourself.
I mean, if you and I agreed on everything on this podcast, wouldn't it be kind of just boring?
Yeah, it would be boring. That's why I say outlandish shit.
And that's why I'm an antagonist to you at every point.
Yeah. You're the asshole that I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, once again, though, but some things, like I said, we agree and disagree on because we just feel strongly about it, you know.
No,
but
and I'm with you.
I mean, but in general, I get it. I mean, it will be a boring place, but there's Xbox, there's PlayStation, there's other things to keep us on. There's PC. I mean, there's Punani. But either way, all those things.
You're gonna get like one of those chips when they come out, right?
No,
and that way you can plug into the system and virtually live.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I honestly think that you know, don't get me wrong, technology is one of the greatest things ever, but at the same time, it's one of the worst things ever because it's taken away so many jobs, and at the same time,
it's going to continue to. You know, they've got grocery stores now, that have no cashiers.
No cashiers. You just go in and that's it. Go in, come out. That's it. They just beep, you're gone. You know,
robbed like a motherfucker.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna go there like off of there'll be a video she will just go there, snatch and run, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna hit the door.
Oh man.
But you know what's gonna happen one day when that tries to happen? You're gonna see somebody that come out looking like Oil T-100 or some 1000 from Terminator. T-1000 gonna walk out and kill every fucking body over some potato chips. She's like, what the fuck? He was like getting stabbed over some chips, and it's just bleeding out right there. So I believe that's gonna happen. But you know, that's what I'm saying. We're in a dangerous time, and a lot of people don't see that. They're just going from day to day, and now that's why I say to the younger generation coming up, they have to understand that they have to learn so many things and be able to do more than just one thing, because just as they're learning this, everything is shifting right in front of them.
Yeah.
You know,
everything's changing.
It changes all the time. It changes, you know, at one point it was just the old rubbers, and now they got the sensitive. Things change.
You wrapping up your Jimmy? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just saying, wrap up, folks. But anyway, I'm just saying,
it's a VD thing.
Oh,
it's a VD thing.
A VD thing. but seriously, just things are changing all the time. I mean, you know, think about it. It changed all the time. We was one day in the grocery store. Now we're sitting here doing a fucking podcast.
I know.
It changes, you know?
I know.
It's like, holy shit.
Shit gets weird fast.
Weird. Really weird.
Yeah.
But it's a good weird.
I get people commenting on the set, which is really cool.
Yeah, the set is the shit. Like,
I'm super happy with it. I made some changes.
Yeah, it's
for anybody that's listening. You know, we really appreciate you listening. But
thank you.
You know, when I'm editing these, I'm really kind of looking at it like there's so much more humor in the podcast if I just edit it right. If I just catch the right looks and catch those moments, and there's plenty of them in it. So if you're listening, awesome. We try not to do too much that requires you to view us.
Yeah.
But you should check it out. I went to a lot of hard work on this beautiful set, and we changed props out. So Rob's Odin has a permanent spot on the set with Thor's hammer and some other Marvel types. But yeah, just kind of playing around with stuff. So
yeah, I mean, that's what makes it. That's the reason why I like this the most, because it's not only about the props, but this shows the personality of a person, what they like, what they grew up on, you know, and that's what I like, you know. That's what I like more about it than anything else. Because me, I used to watch X-Men all the time. I'm a Marvel head, you know. I watch Star Wars. I do all that shit, you know. And some people, they look at me like, you watch Star Wars? I'm like, yeah, dog, what's wrong with you? If you fuck your life, you know. Yeah. They don't understand what's going on. But in general, like, that's what I like about it the most. Batman, of course. I like literally for my birthday, I could have anything in the store, and I'll never forget this. I was like real young, and I didn't know what the hell I would want because it's like anything in the store. I went and got a freaking Batman towel. Dumb as shit for that, I know. But still, but in general, that's just what I like. I like Batman. I like all that,
So when I was growing up, I want to say I was maybe 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Batman Adam West show was my favorite show.
Yeah.
And so my mom actually made me a deep blue satin cape, and I used to wear it all the time. And apparently I did something and I was being punished.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad came in my room and he told me that I was grounded. I wasn't allowed to watch Batman.
Oh, man.
And I kicked him in the shins. And he turned around and he walked out of the room and he closed the door. And my mom said, "What happened?" And he goes, "The little bastard kicked me."
I don't know why white people get away with shit like that. Me, I'd have got fucked up.
I think I just shocked him. Like he didn't know what to do. He was just like, so he just turned around and walked out of the room. But yeah, I was serious about my Batman, as you can see. My niece got me that, which is dope.
Yeah, see, that would have been me. I'd have got fucked up. I'd have been rock bottom.
And that's the Adam West. Batman. I love that thing too, because the characters are like look like
you can't beat that because it looks just like them. And then in the fact of remember the movie and they had the liquid at the end and they still didn't know if they got it right.
He had shark repellent spray on his utility belt.
Man,
like you want to talk about a dude that's ready for any situation?
Batman,
come on, man. And Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache, so they used to just paint makeup over it. You could always see his mustache underneath his. Because he was famous for that mustache.
And my man, I can't think his real name. He played the Penguin.
Burgess Meredith.
Yes, that's my man. That's my man. And then years later, you come back. You be the coach, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, you come
Rocco.
back. Then years later, you come back. You're actually Jack Lemmon's father on Grumpy Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part in there is the first one where Daryl Hannah and the other guy, they were sitting there talking outside the church, and he pops out, "You two, bring your asses in here." That shit had me funny. I was dying laughing because he was serious about that shit. But yeah, like I said, like that's somebody who really watches movies and watch people and what they actually do, So, but yeah, man, I'm a fan of all that shit, man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. I love the way all of this has kind of come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super happy with the resolution I get on camera with that. We get this really great looking graphic, and when I look at it on camera, it's
think about it. That's a reflection, a camera shooting a reflection of. So it's not but anyway, it still catches my eyes.
I want it perfect, yet still like had sound issues, and I again can't wait to see what I've fucked up somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure I turned all the mics on.
It happens. What people don't understand is a lot to do a podcast or just to do anything far as in shooting with a camera and making sure certain things are like right. You have to do your research and understand that, for one, like even though you have this great background here and it looks great, you still have to have the proper lighting. You still have to have the proper angles. You still have to have the right amount of cameras. You still have the right amount of sound. All these things come into play, and people just sit there and they'll go, "Okay, I'm going to take my phone and shoot something." But you got like 8,000 other people doing the same thing. So what is going to be different about you that's going to sit you different from everybody else?
That's right.
It's all about the quality of work and everything that you do. Yeah.
Yep. And I would say we're pretty quality.
Yeah, this is quality. This is great quality. I mean, and I'm still shocked, because it catches my brownness.
I did mention the lighting. We've been playing around with the lighting, and I found I've whitewashed myself out a couple of times.
I mean, like the one where you did the first time you did where you like click here, man. I swear to God, you and Casper, y'all could have been fucking like brothers because y'all just used that fucking pale in that. I was like, shit. I was like, did Carl die and come back? Jesus.
So, woke culture paranoia as I was doing that last. So your kung fu has brought you this far.
Right.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I really want to do this. And we had just watched one of my favorite kung fu movies, Kung Fu Zombies.
Okay.
And so I was really wanting to do it. And then I'm like, is it racist? I'm like, well, I'm not like doing anything visually that's racist, and the voice isn't necessarily racist. The only thing is it's overdubbing.
Yeah, I mean, the fact
and I was like, it's clearly from a kung fu movie, and I'm like, but that doesn't inherently make it like I'm actually like debating all of this shit, right? And then I'm like, Erica's gonna laugh her ass off while I'm doing it.
Of course, if it makes her laugh, you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
but in general, I hate that sometimes. Sometimes people just look at somebody and say, oh, because they're white, doing, oh, that's racist, and it's not. The fact that why can't it be sometimes it's just being humorous?
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, if I was to do it, they'd be like, oh, that was pretty cool, or some shit like that. But and sometimes I do some shit where you go, that was racist, and I'm gonna look at you and go, yes, that was. And that's just me. It's just me. But I just like having fun with the shit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, and I've tested the waters with you a couple of times.
I don't know. You know me. Like I said, I'll say some shit. I know my mouth, I'll say some shit. That's what I do.
So I gotta pull these up. So I found these, and I don't know. I was looking for a song that I had sang for Erica to make her laugh once. I'm not going to play it at the moment, although I'm sure she would want me to really bad. But in looking for it, I had found a bunch of these these recordings that Erica and I did. We had borrowed her stepdad's truck, and this is a couple of years ago. I forgot I had these, and his truck, the Bluetooth, when it synced up with the phone, it would read your texts out. So then Erica and I were intentionally sending these really fucked up texts so that it would say shit back, and I started recording some of them. So I'm gonna hold on.
Balls, ass, fuck, shit, hole, stupid cunt, penis. My urine is pungent. Hey, hand me the dildo. I farted and my butt cheeks squeaked. Now my pants are damp. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
What the hell? Yo, like y'all feel some crazy ass shit sometimes. But you know what though? The thing about it is, I like the fact that y'all had that relationship with each other like that. To be that humorous.
Nanny, nanny, boo boo. Stick your head in doo doo. My tame ditches. There. That's better. Now go fuck yourself. I'm fucking gangsta. Balls.
I like the delay though. So has he ever did he ever go off on y'all or anything, or cuss y'all out behind that shit?
No.
Oh man.
No, because it was like we would get the message, like, I would send it or I'd send it from her phone to my phone.
Okay.
So that the car would have to play it, and then we'd record it, playing it. So I don't know.
Oh,
but
crazy,
that's,
man.
I mean, when you can find somebody that you can
exactly, it's supposed to
laugh about things like that.
Exactly, your soulmate's supposed to be your friend. Like not only your someone you call your lover, but at the same time they're supposed to be your partner in crime. Like they're literally supposed to be like, screw it, like if y'all want to knock on somebody's door and take off running, she goes, "I'm down with you. Let's go."
All right, fuck it, I'm doing this. She's gonna laugh hysterically that I'm playing this. Okay, so I've told you I can't sing.
Right.
So I'm warning you now.
Oh God.
And I would, when Eric and I got together, I would call her on the phone, and I think I've said this before. I would horribly sing a Roy Orbison song or something like that, and hit these high notes I can't really hit.
Oh God, no.
She'd just be crying on the phone, laughing, right? So every Christmas, there's a Johnny Mathis song that comes out called Calypso Noel. It's really bad. And I changed the lyrics of it. And I sang it. But here's the worst part. I sang it like completely a cappella. And one of the things that she loves that I do is I'll do all the backups and shit. But I end up having to cut myself off to bring the backups in, which she just finds fucking... Okay, so...
You're going to...
I'm going to regret this.
Bum bum dun 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 bum 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 dun dun dun. Sing me nowhere, sing to snowmen, sing nowhere. Sing me about the corncob pipes and how they smell. Sing me nowhere, sing to snowmen, sing nowhere. Sing me about the corncob pipes and how they smell. Born on the front lawn of a black child that everyone thought was gay.
Really
He
insensitive.
rolled 3
Really
snowballs
insensitive.
up in the front yard and then picked out all the hay.
What the
I wrote
shit?
lyrics.
Sing me nowhere, sing to snowmen, sing no. Sing me nowhere, sing to snowmen,
Backup
sing
singers.
no. Sing me about the corncob pipes and how they sing me about the corncob pipes and how they. Oh, little
Octave
snowman,
change.
that one coal I fell out. And you know you have a
I start
carrot
belting in a minute.
for your snout. Oh,
It sounds like somebody kicked you in the balls, dog.
I'm just hoping this is late enough in the podcast that no one's listening anymore.
Sing me nowhere, sing
So anyway, it's the backup singers. and wait,
Sing me
I actually
about
try
the
to fade.
corncob pipes and how they smell. About the corncob pipes and how.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I will do anything to make Erica laugh.
And that's how it's supposed to be, man. That's really
why
how it's
I have
supposed
a
to be.
successful marriage.
Yeah, that's the reason why. No,
I mean, who else is doing that for their girl?
not me, because I don't have one. So anyway,
And knowing that she's gonna get to see this when we watch it, she's gonna die laughing all over again. So it's a win-win for me.
congratulations. You are truly an ass. If Johnny Masters was watching, he'd be like, that motherfucker. Pretty much.
Yeah. So I don't know that we can top that. I would say that's probably the end of this episode.
Yeah, people, once again, we thank you for watching us. Please comment, subscribe, definitely share it, definitely tell somebody about it. Please email us your opinions, leave us anything you want to say or even want to talk about, just give us something we want to talk about and we'll give you our opinion on it. We're glad to answer any and everything. And that means anything.
All right.
All right.
Peace, everybody.
Peace. Hell is wrong with you?